Well, we're following the story here in Dallas this morning where the rain is causing issues on the roadways. And now you also have a major backup along I-35 down in Dallas because at least 3 people have been shot at an ICE facility down in Dallas. Secretary Kristi Noem, Homeland Security, putting on social media here a couple of minutes ago, there was a shooting this morning at the Dallas ICE detention facility. Details are still emerging, but we can confirm there were multiple injuries and fatalities. The shooter is deceased by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. She says here, while we don't know the motive, we know that our ICE law enforcement is facing unprecedented violence against them. It must stop. Please pray for the victims and their families. That is from Kristi Noem, Homeland Security, here in the last couple of minutes on KCMO Talk Radio. So as we get more information on this, we'll bring it to you this morning on KCMO Talk Radio. But once again, at least 3 people shot at a Dallas ICE facility here in the last half hour or so. It's a breaking story. We'll get you the latest as soon as we have it on 95.7 FM. Not a good situation at all. We'll ask Rich Lowry about that and much more from the National Review. He will be here coming up in 10 minutes. We also have those Jordan Davis tickets in less than 10 minutes on KCMO. So what are the people closest to Charlie Kirk saying about Jimmy Kimmel last night? Andrew Colvett was the producer of the Charlie Kirk Show. He has been one of the most vocal people in the wake of Charlie's assassination 2 weeks ago today. And here's what he said about Jimmy Kimmel's apology. And I'll play a little bit of this. I won't play the whole thing, but I'll play a little bit of this, and then we'll get to what one of those closest to Charlie Kirk is saying in the wake of this Jimmy Kimmel apology, non-apology.
I've been hearing a lot about what I need to say and do tonight. And the truth is, I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human. And that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do.
All right. Andrew Colvett, executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show, wrote last night, early this morning, "This was not good enough, Jimmy. It's simple. Here's what you needed to say. I'm sorry for saying the shooter was MAGA. He was not. He was of the left. I apologize to the Kirk family for lying. Please accept my sincere apology. I will do better. I was wrong." That is the post on X from Andrew Colvett, the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show. He added here 24 minutes ago, "Yes, Jimmy got emotional. So what? He's emotional for himself because he almost torched his entire career." He says Kimmel is an unrepentant liar who tried to blame Charlie's assassination on the part of the country that just spent the last 2 weeks praying and holding vigils. What he's really saying is that he still thinks it's fair game to slander conservatives. He would rather advance his own political and cultural agenda than confront the truth. The truth is that his own side has been fanning the flames of political assassinations for years. The truth is that someone on the left picked up a gun and murdered someone on the right who advocated for peaceful debate. It's critical that liars admit they lied. There can be no restoration without that. Anything short of that is fake and scripted, and it's designed to endear him to his fans, not make right the wrong he committed. That is the latest statement from Andrew Colvett, the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show, 24 minutes ago. And we say all these nice words, and all these folks come out of the woodwork the last 2 weeks and say, stop fanning the flames. But what evidence is there to suggest that that's happening? Where are you seeing that actually take place? I mean, I heard Kamala Harris say that Trump's a tyrant the other day on TV.
A tyrant? We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump.
How is that turning down the temperature? What is that doing to make people feel The crazy people out there feel like they do not need to commit some kind of political violence. Where are you seeing that happen? And I'm not denying the fact that there are some people on both sides of the political aisle who are guilty of fanning political flames. I'll readily admit that. Okay, Trump hasn't been perfect on that stuff. There's a lot of people who you can look at and say, come on, can you do your part to turn down the temperature? I will admit that. But in the wake of this shooting and this political assassination, based on what the motives very clearly appear to be, who's going to step up and lead the way? And I don't expect it to be a comedian that nobody watches on ABC who's lucky to have his job back. I really don't think that, as much as it would have been great for Kimmel to come out and say that, I don't really expect that to be him. He's an entertainer. I would like to see it from some of the prominent people within the political ranks say it, and you're not getting it. You're not hearing it anywhere. And that has been as disappointing and frustrating as anything else. Now, there have been some conversations as to whether or not what Jimmy Kimmel said is what many of us believe that he said. I want to play this for you from last week and then just, share with you what some people may be alleging in the wake of Jimmy Kimmel's suspension and then unsuspension after he came back on the scene last night.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between.
So, Mark, I know you've seen some of this on social media, as have I. The insinuation there being that Kimmel was not flat out saying, hey, the shooter's MAGA. What he's insinuating there is what? That Republicans were quick to point the finger at the other side politically?
Yeah, just that he wasn't one of theirs.
That they were quick to say, hey, this guy's not one of ours, right?
Just push it. Hey, he's over on the other side.
Yes.
Which it turned out that's right.
Yes, exactly. So was there ever a doubt? I mean, don't get me wrong. In the days after, the 48 hours after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and we didn't have all the information on the person, of course, the story was more about mourning because we still were waiting for the facts, right? Trying to figure out who this guy was and what his background was and everything else. So that's what we did here on this show. That was our approach here on KCMO. But was there ever really a doubt? I mean, I didn't sit here and say something that was factually inaccurate, but boy, my gut felt pretty clear on where this was all going to go and what the end result was going to be. That was in my gut. I didn't report it as fact. But then Kimmel comes out on Monday night, and no, I mean, he didn't sit there and say, well, this guy clearly was a MAGA guy, but the insinuation was as such.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
The insinuation that it was the right trying to score political points from the assassination of one of their own, as if that was the main goal in the wake of the Charlie Kirk assassination, is factually inaccurate and is gross as well, John.
Yeah, no, he said is anything other than one of them when he referenced the MAGA group. So it's open and shut case right there to me.
8:14. Rich Lowry, the editor of the National Review, is going to join us coming up on KCMO Talk Radio. We've got a lot to talk to him about, and we will also give you the latest on what we know right now. At least 3 people shot at a Dallas ICE facility. We are monitoring that story this morning from last hour on KCMO Talk Radio. As more comes out, we'll have it for you here on 95.7 FM.